up, everybody? I'm A.K.A. the Wizard, and we're doing the put up today. We had a cancellation, actually, so we're going to have our first guest come back for a second interview today. Last week, we had lyrics. Before that, we had the guest that we're going to have today. So before we get started, like, share, and subscribe below here. And welcome to the put up. It's going to be a great episode. We got a brand new list of questions to ask this guest, who I'm going to introduce in a minute. But yeah, so like we filled up pretty much all of the first half of the season. So we're going to release a new set of available dates for interviews for artists coming up real soon, starting with July 2026 onward for the rest of the season till about June. So yeah, but without further ado, we're going to introduce the guest who's coming back. Luke Icard, how you doing, bro?
What's up, bro? How are you?
Thanks for coming back. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, no worries. I was kind of hoping I could sneak on back in because I got a new release to promote, so it kind of worked out.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Because I remember you like messaging me the other day while we were talking. And you're like, "Yo, you got any more spots?" And I was like, only the one." And like way after your thing releases, right?
Yeah, right. I was like, I can't do that.
Yeah, so it just worked out. Everything, you know what? Everything happens for a reason. I fully believe that.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so how you been, bro? You're not sick today.
No, I am not. So yeah, I am feeling better. It took about 2 months to kick that cold. I don't think it was a regular cold though. It was probably a RSV infection or something. But sleeping definitely helps me kick that.
I think
So
it's like one of the pillars of the immune system, right? Sleep,
yeah,
sunshine, all that stuff, right?
and I got a pretty strong medication. It was like a steroid, I think, or something. But I'm doing much better now.
I'm glad to hear it. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm glad to not be coughing a lung up anymore.
I remember last time, like muting mics and all that.
Yeah, I had to have my toggle switch on, so.
But today we're good. Here we are back.
Yeah.
We're going to do the new set of questions, find out more about your art and your whole life as an artist and producer.
Let's go.
It'll be epic, bro. So let's just jump into it then.
Yeah.
We're going to start with the first one. What's your earliest memory of music or art shaping who you are today?
When I was like 5 years old, my mom made me join the church choir, and instead of singing, I was wearing these pants that had this really loud zipper. And I was moving the zipper to the beat of the song. I wasn't even singing. I was like moving the zipper up and down, and my mom started filming with a little camera that we had back in the 90s, and it was just like, it was so funny because everybody was like, he's doing it to the beat of the song. I guess he's going to be a drummer one day or something.
You got a percussion part out of it, right?
Yeah, and my mom was talking to the choir director, and she was like so embarrassed, and I was like, I didn't even know better. I was like 5 years old, so I just thought it was funny. So and I guess I had a sense of rhythm even at like 5 years old. So
is it crazy that you're just born with it? Because I've been playing a piano since I was like 5 in a room by myself, kind of thing, just nobody else around, right? And like writing music and recording it on like tapes on a little ghetto blaster thing I'd set up, but you know the ones with like you hit play and record at the same time.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm talking 90s, right? Like
yeah, that is crazy for sure.
Yeah, they just had a little built-in mic and off you went. It sounded like shit, but I recorded over an Elvis Presley tape that my parents, I guess, had recorded off the radio at some point as like a live concert. They were pissed. It was not a good situation.
Oh no. It's like, what is this? It's my new hit song. No, it's not.
Yeah, it was like one day I was down, I had like 3 chords and 10 lyrics, you know? Like
Uh,
But yeah, since 5 years old, eh? That's crazy.
yeah, I've had a sense of rhythm since I was like 5 years old. So
Amazing.
I came out of the womb tapping my foot. So I guess that's counts for something.
Probably on the inside, like tapping on the way out too, right? Like, you know, you feel the
in,
kicks
be-
and stuff when you're like got a
in
pregnant wife
between
or whatever. And it's
breaths.
like
Yeah.
he's going to the beat, guys. You know, that's
uh,
wonderful. Okay, so like
yeah.
moving to the studio, like when you lock in at the studio, like what do you want people to feel from your performance? You don't perform so much as like perform on the keys, if you want to call it that, or like the metal,
No, no.
right?
So I'm this goes back to the last interview, but um I lived the life of a touring DJ as a producer, and I didn't want that in regards to all the extracurricular activities were on YouTube, so I won't say what exactly it was. Um
Nightlife.
yeah, the nightlife. But honestly, when I'm in the studio, I just want people to feel I'll just say elevated, if you know what I mean.
Okay,
Because a lot of people tell me my music sounds like it's so uplifting that it makes people have um, anxiety issues sometimes. But people tell me sometimes it makes their anxiety go away because they found something that matches the way they feel. And I'm like, well,
interesting.
that's really interesting because um, most of the time, like I used to make really super chilled out beats that didn't really go anywhere, and then I started researching into where EDM was going at the time because it was like 2010, 2011 during the chill EDM boom. Um, and then I started picking up on patterns of famous releases and different genres, and I realized there was this move towards like super uplifting, emotional, like put your hands in the air. Like, I don't know if you've seen that chart on Facebook. It's like put your hands up in the air, and it says DJs, pastors, and robbers.
Fitting.
um,
Perfect.
but I just want people to feel like there's a better way to escape life's problems without having to get high or get elevated or
Hmm.
get drunk. Because
Right, because you talked a lot about the mental health aspects of it in the last interview.
yeah,
Everybody go back and watch that if you haven't, because there's some
yeah,
amazing advice in there.
yeah, for sure. But I just want people to feel like they can escape without having to do drugs or drink alcohol, and they can just put on my music and feel like they're,
It's like
you
alternative,
know,
right?
yeah, it's honestly like because I make a lot of different styles, so the release coming up for Halloween, it's like really dramatic and like thriller action movies, horror movies type stuff. Um, but that's I wanted that to kind of be a breakout album for the stuff that I was doing, which is like super uplifting and happy. And I just wanted to show a little diversity in my sound. But for the most part, I think the majority of my stuff is really happy and soaring and uplifting. Because that B3 PP, I don't know how do you
B3
pronounce
PM. Right.
B3 PM? Yeah, because I was almost selecting like every one of those moods for higher ground, and I was like, what the heck? um, but yeah, I just mainly I want people to feel like they can escape their problems without having to do any extracurricular activities.
Nice.
But
Okay, so what's one song or project of yours that represents you currently right now, and why?
um there's a song on Anthems of Lost Souls. It's one of the last couple ones. I think it's I had posted a screen recording of it on YouTube.
Hold
It
on, I
was
have a list
original.
here. Where is it? It's like
It was number
triumphant or something.
it was number 11, I think.
When the trumpet sounds.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the
So that
sound.
one, I had posted a screen recording on YouTube on my tutorial channel, but it was under a different title. It was called "What Angels Play When You Get to Heaven," but I didn't want to have that wordy of a title on the album. Um, but to me, that song sounds that song sounds very avant-garde, for lack of a better term. Like it's very big and grandiose, and that's kind of where I feel in my life right now, because I've just overcame so much in these last 7 8 years since I've been in the psych ward. um and I've overcome my emotions and my uh life cycles, and just um being able to stand out and finally peek my head out of the hermit mode mountain I dug myself in. um, but yeah, I feel like when the trumpet sound really captures the happiness and the ability that everyone can overcome something if they work hard enough.
Amazing message, bro. Because you know what? Like, I think a lot of people, even watching it, just in life that I experience on a regular basis, people are having problems. Life is not easy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So, like, for you to be able to come on here and stick your neck out like that and let people know this is why I'm experiencing what a lot of people can't talk about it, right?
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, amazing, man. Okay, so like every artist evolves. Like, how have you evolved with your sound and processes and all that since you started making music?
um I've kind of become a template snob. I,
Presets.
I don't. Yeah, like, so yesterday I was designing. I'm kind of working on a new plugin for like reverby pads and arps and stuff. Um, but it's gonna be more so geared towards like ambient music and chill out styles. Um, but I set aside certain days. Like yesterday was a sound design day and mix notes day, and if I have a day like Thursday where I make like two songs in one day, it just really depends. Because I really just need to separate all the jobs, because doing everything yourself, you kind of get overwhelmed when you have a big project and you're about to do another release. Um, but for my templates, I like building everything from scratch. And I'll find some presets in Serum that sound the uh, the way that I want, and I'll just because my sound is very reverb heavy. So I maxed out Ableton's effects chains on the auxes.
You need like
So
a
I've got
second
like
DAW beside you there just to keep going with it.
yeah. So I've kind of maxed out my effects chains in Ableton, and I do a lot of compression on the reverb. I use like a combination of Shimmer, Valhalla Vintage Verb, and Supermassive is a great plugin, and it's free.
Super massive. I don't think I've heard of
Yeah,
it. Really?
Valhalla Supermassive is like the best delay, because I used to use H delay a lot, and
Mm.
I think the problem with H delay is everybody has it, so it kind of makes you sound like everybody else's
Yo,
delays.
here's my beef with H delay. You know how it's like centered when you bring it up? So
Yeah.
you'd have to like somehow spread the sound of a delay out a lot of times, right? And the only way to do that in that plugin is to throw it out of phase. And then it sounds funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then it
It
sounds
has
out of phase.
limitation.
Because the reason I like Supermassive is because it has a width knob and a it's like a diversify knob and a width knob. I don't know what the I don't remember the correct term for the there's like 3 different width knobs on Supermassive, and if you have all those maxed out, like it really sounds like larger than life. It's and one of my favorite presets on Supermassive is you go into, I think it's echoes, and then you go to make everything better, and it's a quarter note. It's a quarter note preset, but you can use it as eighth notes or 16th notes or even like half notes. Um, but whatever groove if I'm like adding delay to percussion, like that's another huge thing I do. Um, I like adding delay to percussion loops to make them kind of sit in the mix better, and it's like a little extra bed of audio information, so I'm not having to like make a background pad or any kind of crazy like effects. But it really just depends on what kind of sound I'm going for. And I've kind of gotten to the point where I do everything the same every time, so it sounds the same every time. And a lot of people are against that for some reason, but I want my music to sound like it was done by the same person.
You know what? I have that same
Especially,
philosophy mixing too, where it's like once you have
yeah,
like a vocal chain for an artist, for example, right? Like you're supposed to sound the same on every record. It's not like your voice changes
yeah,
over time,
exactly.
right?
Hmm. For
Same
sure.
kind of thing. That's amazing. Yeah, actually, I hope everybody here is taking notes because you're just dropping like these amazing like production tips today.
Yeah, I was well. I before the stream, I was mastering my album, so I spent like 2 hours mastering before the stream. So I'm kind of in that mood today.
Nice. Okay, well, I think we're gonna go hear a song, bro.
Okay, let's go.
This one's called Dream Sequence. Tell the people about it.
So for this one, I just wanted to make a song that could be like, when you see a character in a movie that's like thinking, and then it has like the cheesy voiceover, and then you hear like this really dreamy music playing. Like
Right.
this whole album is just like movie score tracks. So I just wanted to amplify that dreaminess, and you'll hear all the reverb and stuff too, but um I'll just keep it short because I know last time I got cut off, but
Well, we haven't
uh
dropped it today. It's all good
we
so
we
far.
haven't dropped the call yet today, but um I just really enjoy listening to that song when I'm driving late at night because it just puts you in the feels. And I think you'll see what I'm talking about when you listen to it.
All right, well, let's roll it. Welcome back to the Put Up, everybody. I'm A.K.A. the Wizard, and we have Luke Icard returning with us today for
What's
the second
up?
interview. The song you heard was Dream Sequence, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, epic. Lots of reverb. Amazing tracks, bro. And I think
Thank you, man.
we'll see what happens. Maybe. We'll see a little later on. But yeah, we're going to jump back into the interview. Just before we do that, like, share, and subscribe below here if you are just joining us. And yeah, we're just going to get back to it. New questions today, bro.
Yeah, let's
So
go.
tell the people, what's a misconception that others have about you and your art?
This is gonna sound kind of conceited and maybe a little um people see my house and my car and they think I come from money, which I do, but I'm on my own money. Like I bought all my equipment. The only thing I didn't buy was my interface, and that was a gift on Christmas, but I bought my laptop, my RME, my monitor controller. Like I'm pretty much on my own since my mental health crises. Um but a lot of people think I just release music because I can afford it, which the bottom line is most of us can't afford to release music and pay for DistroKid and pay for mixing and mastering, which is why I do everything myself. Um but I think a lot of people that first meet me and they come to the studio, they think I come from money, which I'll give them that. That's true, but I'm not on my parents' money. I use my own funding and even for like Spotify promotion and for TikTok dance videos. I know we talked about that last time.
Right.
um, but people misconceive me as spoiled and rotten and just they see where I live and how I live, and they're like, "How do you afford that?" I'm like, "Well, there's lots of things you can do for free, and there's things that cost money that I don't really do that often. And having a girlfriend is one of those things that costs money, so I don't have to worry about that. But I just think people misconceive me a lot because of my kindness, and they take advantage of my willingness to help anybody. Like it doesn't matter if you're black or white or Mexican. Like I'm working with a Mexican pop artist on a track. It's called Margaritas in Mexico.
Oh, it sounds
Actually,
delicious.
yeah. Well, one of my friends and we have a fantasy football group chat that we play every year. And one of my friends just got married recently, and he's in Mexico. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just sitting here in Mexico having some margaritas in Mexico. And I was like, yo,
That's a
that's a
song
freaking
title.
song title. So I went on Suno and was typing all these lyrics like as fast as I could. And I was just like, man, like this could be placed in a tequila ad or a vacation commercial. Like it's limitless, and all we have to do now is re-record the Suno instrumental. And I sent it to my manager, and she was like, "Yo, how did you come up with that title?" I was like, "It was in a text message."
We talked about that last time too, right?
Yeah,
Well, like just
yeah.
everybody's saying everything is a song title nearly 90% of the time. They just don't know
and,
it.
and that's how I remember facts about people is I tie them to song titles. I'm like, my brain is really weird. It must be an autism thing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so another weird question. Here we go. Who has influenced you most outside of music? Like a person, experience, or philosophy? Not dealing with music.
Um, Definitely my spiritual guider. Cause she kind of told me what cycles I was in, and I just one of them was alcohol. That was I don't know if I would have been able to quit alcohol without her help. Um,
And I
but
think I
just
remember a time, bro, like back when I first met you, you were still drinking beer and stuff, right?
Oh yeah,
Regular, right?
I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
drinking like 3 times a week.
I remember it. It's
Um,
amazing that you were able to just have this self-realization like that and just shift everything.
uh,
Respects, honestly.
yeah, yeah, because I feel like alcohol is a poison, and a lot of people don't want to talk about that because they just want to party and feel good and then feel like crap the next day. So, I just really feel like alcohol is a big um, learning curve for most people because once you realize you can't break the pattern, you're like, okay, I just have to quit then.
Right.
um, and the thing is, a lot of people don't realize the benefits you get from quitting putting all that poison into your system
So tell them, bro.
because in 30 days you have clarity, you have a better mental state, you're happier, you're not depressed anymore, you don't feel trapped, and even in like 2 months, bro, you start sleeping better. um you just are overall a happier, healthier person, and even you might lose a little bit of weight quitting alcohol, and that's what kind of kick-started my weight loss. um I started at like 317 pounds, and now I'm down to like 277. Um,
Hell yeah.
so I don't know if any of y'all are good at math there, but that's about 40 pounds. Um, but
Congratulations, honestly.
yeah, yeah, I appreciate it. But with alcohol, man, it's so prevalent in the industry that you kind of look uncool if you don't do it. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but
No, it's
if
100% true. I totally get
if
it.
you if you don't drink alcohol, you kind of get looked at as the
Like a
uh
square. You know what I mean? Like this like
yeah, you kind of
proper
get looked at as like a lump on a log. So I feel like that aspect about me might intrigue a promoter, and it's like, hey, I won't have to worry about this guy drinking because he doesn't drink and he won't get too drunk if I ever wanted to DJ one day.
yeah,
Um
from a like a business standpoint, I can totally see it. Right?
and
There's like a amount of faith that is built between the promoter then with that, right?
yeah, and I used to be the worst night owl. Like I would stay up until like 2 or 3 a.m. just because I was buzzed off of alcohol. And now that I don't do that, I'm in bed, bro, by like 10 or 11 p.m. every night, and I wake up at like Saturday. I woke up at like 6:30, 6 o'clock, 6 a.m. Um, but that yesterday was the day I just posted on TikTok all day, and that's how I got all those views. I know we were talking about that for before the stream, but yeah, definitely not drinking has been the thing that improved my life the most, especially because it allowed me to quit drinking, um, and then it allowed me to stop smoking cigarettes, which those things kind of go hand in hand. Um, I still vape, but I did take about a 300-day break from vaping during COVID because I
I
think I
remember
was
you had like
sick.
those counters going or whatever for different things, right?
Yeah, yeah. I was heavy on the promotion for the. I use this app called Nomo, um, Nomo.
Which is like no
Um,
more shortened kind of
yeah,
thing. Yeah.
no more shortened. Um, but it honestly, it counts my sobriety days like down to the milliseconds. It's kind of weird. It's like you've been sober for over 1 million milliseconds or something. It's kind of cool.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I'm just super grateful for my parents too. I wanted to mention them as well because they watched the last interview and they were really impressed with my talking skills, and I don't really showcase that often because I've done some things that could get me expelled from the family, and they welcomed me back. Um, so I wouldn't have this apartment, this studio, if it wasn't for them. So um, I'm definitely grateful for my family and my support system, and yeah, that's also why a lot of people take advantage of me, unfortunately. So um,
You know what? I think
But
the key takeaway of it all is like this external influence having the positive effect. You know what I mean?
yeah. Hmm.
That's the whole key to the whole thing. And it's realizing that you can't just do everything on your own, break those cycles and stuff, right?
Yeah, because without my spiritual guider, I wouldn't have realized that I needed to just quit completely, and
Right.
I wasn't mandated by the courts to quit. I didn't have a judge tell me I needed to get sober. I
And
didn't
that's a
get a
driving factor a
DUI.
lot of the times, right?
Yeah, and
Unfortunately.
a lot of people have to go to AA. I've never been to an
Right.
AA meeting. I don't have a sponsor. Um, I just really feel blessed and happy that my medication's working better. And because I would have a drink and then have a panic attack like a week later. So I think alcohol definitely causes panic attacks, and a lot of people don't realize that. I'll just put it I'll just put it that way. So um
No,
yeah.
amazing that you were able to break that. That's crazy, bro.
Hmm.
Okay, so like we'll get back to the music part of this. Creative blocks. How do you get over a writing block when you're producing a beat? Like when things aren't working out, what do you do to like fix it?
Well, it depends on the situation. Like if I'm working on something and I feel tired and I'm not in it like 100%, then it's gonna not turn out great. But my goal is to always finish everything I start, because the more beats you finish and the more music you finish, the better you get in mixing and mastering and recording. So it's kind of just like it's a double-edged sword, really. But if I'm stuck on a beat, I'll just take a break and get out of the studio, go for a drive, go for a walk at a park, or
Kind of reset the mind in a way, eh?
yeah, sometimes I'll even take like 2 or 3 days off from the song I was working on, and then I'll work on other stuff and then come back to it with, because it's all about perspective. And I think a lot of people, they get a little lost, like that guy we were talking about during break. Like he may not have the confidence or the money to buy a good speaker system, so he doesn't know what sounds good because he doesn't know his room. And a lot of times just listening to good music that I like, um I use Spotify's AI DJ because it knows me pretty well, because I've been on Spotify since it came
Better
out.
than we know
So
ourselves, right?
yeah. So I just you can talk to the AI DJ too. I think his name is X or something. I don't freaking know. It was so weird. But you
Just don't
can
become
say
too close of a friend.
but you can say, "Hey X, play current house music that I like," and it'll play like the Trell, like Dead Mouse, like all these different artists. And I just really am grateful for that, because I used to have to go searching for artists to play on Apple Music, because it knows me so well. It knows like what days of the week I listen to certain
Oh,
genres
that's
on.
wild.
And then
Does it, like
like,
track that for you? I didn't even look into that.
yeah, and what types of genres, because in the wintertime I listen to a lot of indie rock and bluesy kind of stuff. Because all summer I've listened to EDM and house music,
Just going.
uh, and just going full rave mode. Um, but I just use things like that to get out of ruts, because a lot of times I'll say, "Hey, play me current releases from this year that I haven't heard, or play me deep cuts." Um, which I think AI DJ might still be in beta. I'm not sure exactly
I haven't
how
really
a lot
used it.
far.
I see it there, but I haven't really actually like engaged with it.
You should check it out, because
I'm interested now, yeah.
it's definitely pretty inspiring, because a lot of people hate AI for the replacing factor of the human idealism. But AI actually can help you get out of creative ruts. Like you can use like I was saying, I was using Suno to create this Margaritas in Mexico song. Um and we wouldn't have had that idea without that Suno demo. So we can recreate that Suno instrumental and release it, and it'd be like that AI version never existed.
Right.
So
Well, and there's a proof right there, right, with the Spotify thing specifically, right, where like you'd just be alone if you didn't have that little tool to help you find music. There's not like
because
another human helping you, right?
it's funny though, because when uh I have my Spotify linked to my TikTok account, and I'll just be like, I'll go to my friends section on TikTok, and I'll just be liking random songs people post, and then I'll go back on my Spotify and listen to liked songs, and I'll have like 20 songs from TikTok artists, and just that alone, it's like we're really in the golden age of like posting on social media, and just being able to get your music in front of 200 people every time you post, because a lot of people don't think 200 people is a lot. Like if you had 200
Put them in a
people,
room. Yeah.
if
Now
you
you
had
can.
200 people in a full nightclub, that's a full sold out show. Or if you had 200 people chasing you down the road at night, you would be fighting for your life trying to get away from them.
Now I'm getting like graphic images going on, man. Oh my gosh. You know?
Yeah. But honestly, people have such issues with AI that are wrong, or they just hate it, and I think those kinds of people are the people that are going to get replaced by AI, and the people that are using AI, um, they will definitely be further ahead. Like the producers that use Suno to create songs, like, so let's say if you had two songs and you had like 5 or 6 other different lyrics, like it would take you probably a week each song to craft those, and you could just throw those lyrics into Suno and have a good enough demo to be inspired from, and you can take the vocals from Suno and import it into Ableton, or whatever DAW you use, um, and create a full track based on that Suno vocal, and you could then mute the Suno vocal and get somebody to re-sing some vocals that were inspired by that Suno vocal. So I guess in the long run, it's technically inspired by AI, but we're not releasing a project with AI vocals.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, like, how do you feel about the guys that don't own a DAW, that don't produce music? They literally just have an album created in about 10 seconds off a prompt type thing, and they just release that.
Actually, I don't know if you know this, but Spotify just removed like 75 million songs that were AI generated.
Actually?
Yeah, no lie.
Okay.
Like I posted a video on my Facebook page yesterday. Um, but the the royalty pool was so small because of all the AI slop, is what they call it. Um, Real artists were not getting
It's getting
royalty
fragmented out
payout.
by all those, right?
Yeah, real artists were not getting royalty payouts. So it's just kind of like a double-edged sword. Like all these AI artists, like you remember Velvet Sundown, like those guys.
Right.
That was actually a AI band. So I think there has to be like a music platform for just AI music, because it can't be just Spotify is for real artists. There needs to be a music platform for AI music, because I think that would help separate it. And you would know by going to this website that the songs you were listening to were AI generated, most likely. Uh, um,
That's an interesting approach, yeah. Like having a
but
separate kind of avenue for that.
yeah. So I think AI music is just going to be its own thing, and
Almost like a genre. You know what I mean? Like how there's more and more of them.
yeah. I think real artists that actually know a lot and can offer consultations, and because that's what I do for money in my free time, is I offer consultations and mixing and mastering, and I do like 5 different jobs in music. So when one income is lower than the other 4, I focus on those other 4. I do like consultations, tutoring, mixing and mastering, engineering, recording. Um, yeah, I do a bunch of different stuff, but it's all about diversifying your income, because you can still do music, but if you only write songs, you're probably going to get replaced from AI. But if you have something to offer creatively that AI doesn't, like I think that's where producers are going to stand out, because I don't think AI will ever be able to replicate a producer. They could probably copy Taylor Swift. Um, because I
It
have
comes
this
down to
what?
like that whole thing though, right? Of like helping people
Yeah,
and actually being
yeah,
useful to somebody else for a purpose, right?
yeah. Because I think I have this one song called "An American Love Story." If Taylor Swift breaks up with Travis Kelsey, my manager's going to pitch it to Taylor Swift.
There you go.
Uh, so I can make $1 million right there just off of that one song. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. If you have the right connections and like the right uh quality in your music, like you can get your music placed and get like $5,000 to $10,000 uh per placement starting out. But like if you have a really big song with like 4 people on it, and you have like a $50,000 placement, that's 25% 4 ways. So I don't know if there's any math wizards here that could tell us what the payouts for that would be, but
Like
it's just like,
$12,500 or something like that instead of 10, you know?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
10 more.
hmm um but I think there's just a lot of stuff people don't realize, like people that don't know about sync licensing, that's how artists stay broke, is um because they don't have the aptitude or the connections to get their music placed in movies or TV shows. Like I don't have a placement yet, but I'm working really hard on finishing up these songs, and this whole album is just Anthems of Lost Souls is just full of like movie scores. um, but that's really what I wanted to promote, and I just really feel like it's just a matter of time before I get a placement, and then people will start coming to me like, "Hey, how did you get that placement?" And I'll be like, "Oh, it was through my manager," and then my manager will get more artists and consulting stuff. So, um, it's really just a matter of time before I get my first placement. But I'm just excited about all the opportunities that are out there, all the different songs that I'm working on. So,
Tell
yeah, I'm pretty
everybody about
excited.
sync licensing for like a bird's eye view of it. What is it?
So, um, there's like a few different fees you can get in uh, the music section. So there's streaming royalties. That's like the standard 50-50 between the vocalist and the producer. Um, but there's also this I think it's called a sync licensing fee, or like a sync, they just call it a sync fee. SYNC sync fee. Um, but starting out, you could probably only get like 1,200, 1,500. Like my first placement probably won't be a lot, but it'll be out there. Um, but sync fees are split between the person negotiating the sale and the two artists that are on the track. So that's different from the streaming royalties, because um, if your manager knows what's up, she'll get paid on the back pay from the streaming royalties. But for the sync fees, it's split 40-40 between the artist and vocalist. And my management contract, she gets 20%. So 40-40 and 20 is 100. And then if you get like a $1,200 placement, that might not be a lot, but your
But then if
music
you
will
happen
be,
to be the vocalist and the producer of the same track, then you're getting
yeah,
80%
you'll
kind of
you'll
thing,
get
right? Like
80%. Yeah, you'll get 80% instead of getting the 40%. So um that's where a lot of people miss out, and why people stay unknown, is because they're not using sync licensing to their advantage. And if your music is played in a movie theater every weekend and people are shazamming your song, you're gonna get like royalties on the back end for people streaming your music and shazamming your song. So that's why I always have my music on Shazam. because that's something you can click in DistroKid. Um, but
And it's built into
yeah,
Snapchat, right? Where like you can hold the
yeah,
screen of
you
Snapchat and
can
just Shazam something
you
now,
can
right?
hold the screen on Snapchat and it'll tell you what the name of the song is. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Just out in
Um,
the open air. You're just hearing it. It's crazy.
but I've been when I was working at Food Lion, I'd hear like house tracks that I hadn't heard before, and I was like trying to Shazam it, and then it wouldn't pick it up because it was too quiet. um,
Like, damn it, I can't find out what it is, eh?
yeah, yeah. Um, but I honestly feel like it's just awesome to see um the producer community getting behind bigger producers and engineers because I had um Jonathan Lee Blanc. I don't know how you say his last name, but
LeBlanc? Something like that?
he yeah, he hit me up for a EDM project. It was like 16 songs, but he couldn't do all 16. So um I'm still waiting on more details on that, but it's just cool to see because all the work I get is from word of mouth. I don't advertise. I don't do playlists. I promote my Spotify on TikTok, and I make videos daily for that. Because I get like 200 to 300 views on my profile on TikTok every day. Um, and maybe I can come back and talk about TikTok separately. Because
We
I
could
feel
do
like
a
I've
whole marketing episode for it.
we could do a whole marketing campaign on TikTok. Um, but I just feel like we're really in the golden age of music technology, and it's now becoming affordable for everyone. And even Suno, like if you don't know how to write a song and you try to use Suno, it's going to sound like AI. But if you know how to write a song and you use Suno, it's going to change your life. So it's just one of
Interesting.
those things.
Yeah. I hear that. Okay, so what's been like the most surprising or unexpected lesson that you've learned throughout your career doing music?
Um, definitely that. I've learned so many things, like when it comes to boundaries and um you can't be too buddy buddy with somebody or else they'll either keep asking you for chump change or they'll just completely take advantage of you. And definitely I think setting boundaries would probably be um my biggest learning uh advice that I have for that question. But I just feel like it's because everybody that deals with mental health issues, they're going to be different than somebody who doesn't have mental health issues. And the more people I work with that have mental health issues, I'm still learning how to set boundaries with them because it may take like 3 or 4 times to say like, hey, I don't really want to go that way. Like I want to keep things professional. Um, and in a sense to where it's honestly just about being straightforward and honest because that's another thing I wanted to bring up because a lot of people will just be a yes man and
Boston fleecing people just repeatedly, you know?
yeah, because I had a buddy of mine, he's in Nashville, and he went to this really expensive country music studio, and I won't name the name of the studio, or I won't give his artist name yet. uh but he sent me the mix down the studio did and the master. And I was like, bro, there's no low end. And he was like, what do you mean there's no low end? I was like, bro, in the car, it just sounds like a kick drum and a thin bass guitar. So I had him send me the pre-master. And then um, he got the file from the studio and he had to make it seem like he was just doing it himself, which I ended up using. I had a different mastering chain back then, but if you played those two masters back to back, one of them sounds really thin, and then one of them sounds like it could be in a club, even though it's a country music track. um,
We have a lot of power, guys, when it comes to
and
like manipulating even a stereo file, right?
yeah, and I see that as just like I was like, dude, I told him, I said, man, like, you've got to stop letting people inflate your ego. And I was really nice about it. But it just got to the point where I had to remind him, like, hey, we started this together. We're going to finish it together. Like, I was in a band with him in high school and we played all these little gigs and stuff. Um, but I just really have people's best interest because I know what sounds good and I know what to do to get it to sound a certain way. And now that I have a set mastering chain, um, it's really a lot easier for me to get a more consistent sound between projects or different genres. So
Nice.
you just gotta watch out for big studios because they'll treat you like a number and not a human. So
Well, and you have to realize, like, they invested some of the millions of dollars into what they have as a big studio, right? And they're still trying
yeah,
to recoup
yeah,
that any way they can, right? It's our little industry. It's not a little industry, but like the independent ability to go buy gear and stuff yourself has totally wiped that thing clean again, right? Where they're
for
still trying to
sure.
recoup $500,000 sometimes after 20 years, right? So
Hmm.
you're gonna get into instances where things are triple the cost they should be. All those things you just talked about, right?
Yeah, like he told me he paid $2,000 for the full recording and the mixing and mastering. I was like, bro, I could have done that for you for like $500.
Right.
And he was like, well, I don't want to travel all the way to Charlotte and da 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 da. And I was
And he
like,
thought he was
well,
gonna get something bigger and better by going to
and
that
he
place, right?
he thought he was gonna come out on the top end of this studio who shall remain nameless. But um
And you know what?
I
Just
re-
because you're working with those big places doesn't mean they're gonna put you up in any way. Like, they're not about to promote you. They're just gonna do it for the money most of the
yeah,
time, right?
exactly. And I had one of my other friends, he does like Motown beach music and soul music, and um the studio in Raleigh wasn't going to pitch his song that he did with me because they didn't feel like it was up to standard, but he did that with a 16-year-old MIDI keyboard. um and I was just like, well, I can make it sound clear and loud and all that, but even they were wanting him to drive all the way to Raleigh and come record at their studio, and they were going to be nitpicky on every part of the process because they just wanted to nickel and dime him into getting distribution because they've been around so long. I don't think they have any Grammys, but they've been around so long that they make a pretty good living um, at bringing people into the studio, which I can respect that. But there's a time and a place for your connections, and I don't think you should hang your connections over an artist's head just because you want them to come to your studio. You know what I mean?
Buy them a mic first. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, yo, I think we're
Um,
gonna go listen to one of your songs again.
okay, let's go.
Yeah, we'll take a little break, let the people hear your second one that you have for us today. I think it's called Paradise in the Sky, the original mix, right?
Yeah, so there's two different versions of that song. Um, I have an extended mix because a buddy of mine that runs a YouTube music channel, he posted that in a DJ mix. It actually did pretty well. It got a few hundred views. I think it's almost at 500 or 600. But um, so the original idea of the song, my grandma and my grandpa passed away during COVID. My
Damn.
grandpa was battling Alzheimer's, and he just succumbed to the old age. He was like mid late 80s, and my grandma fell and broke her hip, and she landed in the hospital. So I kind of just wanted to make a celebration of life song. That's
Mm,
in short.
nice. Well, let's roll it. Let's hear it. Welcome back to the Put Up, everybody. I'm A.K.A. the Wizard, and we have Luke Icard over here for his second interview.
What's
We've been just
up?
jamming, bro. We just heard Paradise in the Sky right there. Another great song from that was the last album that you just put out, right?
Yeah, so I usually like to release an album on my birthday because people come to your profile and wish you happy birthday, so you can be like, "Hey, check out this
By
new."
the way,
Don't wish me a happy birthday. Go to my Spotify.
so you give gifts on your birthday instead of getting them, eh?
Yeah,
That's it.
I give the gift of music.
It's amazing. What else could you
Yeah.
ask for, right? Like,
Oh, I know. It's awesome.
okay, so we're gonna jump back into the interview. Everybody, like, share, and subscribe if you haven't. One of the 8 times that I've said it so far. So I mean,
Like,
support us,
share,
support
and
Luke.
subscribe.
All of your links are down there. Like, everybody tap in with him because he's an amazing producer, man. Mix engineer, teacher, you name it. He does it all, right?
Yeah,
But yeah, let's
yeah.
jump back into the interview, bro. We're gonna talk a little bit like about connection to fans now, and like, but in a different twist than last time, okay? Where it's
Okay.
like, what role does being live in the studio with an artist have on like how you connect with your fans and stuff compared to like when you make your own recorded music?
Um, so just having another person there to kind of vibe with. Um,
Do you content create with them too?
not I don't really post stuff like that on TikTok.
Okay.
It's mainly just videos of me talking. But I think when it comes to another artist, it's just like having somebody else there to vibe with. Even if they're not an artist, like I have a couple friends come through who just like to hear my music, and having a outside bystander um who doesn't really know anything about music but has all these ideas, like that's a listener's perspective um into
Kind of
your
behind the
music.
Spotify release, people
Yeah,
listening kind of
kind kind of
perspective,
kind of
right?
behind the Spotify people. But when it comes to artists, I have created a few beats with some different artists that are local in Charlotte. um but when you really get going and it's like sounding awesome and they're like, "Oh, this sounds so good, I can't wait to release it," it's just on a different level, I think, working with a live person, because my co-producer lives out in Colorado. um he We collab on Discord, and I haven't gotten him to download Zoom yet. For some reason he won't do it. um
I got a funny story about Zoom.
oh, yeah.
Don't leave the link open. We did a masterclass one time, and
Oh.
it ended up with somebody that shouldn't be there being there and sharing their screen with things they shouldn't have been. I won't get into it. I'll just leave it
Oh,
at
I bet I can probably guess what it
Julia
was.
remembers. Be careful
Jeez.
with Zoom, guys. Keep the links private if you're gonna use them. You know what I'm saying? Don't post them on
Yeah.
like social media.
It's like, hey, well, we
We
got
got
a
a question
question?
in chat, bro. We're gonna go to it and
What's
find out right now.
what's the question?
I don't know if I can. I'm having trouble bringing it up here. Oh, there we go. Oh, Luke. Okay, here it is, bro. How do you feel about just songwriters using AI for just for therapy, but do not have access to artists to recreate their vision? Is it okay to
Um
just drop tracks without scrutiny in that case?
that's where the gray area comes in. Um
Like they're not like necessarily making the song to try and promote it to release it for money kind of thing. They're just doing it as a therapeutic thing. They have them, right?
I would say with Spotify deleting 75 million songs that are AI generated, that's why I was saying it comes to having an
Almost having
own.
another spot there that they can post
Yeah,
something like that that's proper for it, right?
Spotify having an AI music platform, so they can at least have something to generate income from. But I don't have a problem with somebody using AI that doesn't have access to instruments, because I can't play guitar. So that's why I use AI to come up with that Margaritas in Mexico song, because I just feel like there's a time and a place for it, and if you don't know how to produce, you don't have money, you don't have access to instruments. Um, I just really feel like um, it can be good, but AI music doesn't have its own lane yet. And I think once it does, it'll be a little more easier to make money off of it. And the real artists on Spotify won't be succumb to the small royalty pool, because I checked my DistroKid bank account the other day and I had like an extra dollar in there. So
Woo!
um but I don't have a problem with it. I think because I have two friends actually that are lyric writers and they don't know how to produce. So they send me their Suno demos and I recreate them so they can get vocalists on it. And that's why I said in the last interview that AI is going to take away maybe things like mixing and mastering. Like there's going to be um, brains, like people will sell AI brains of Chris Lord-Alge and Brian West and
which is kind of crazy to
all
think about too.
yeah, all these famous producers. And I'm like, what if somebody made a Luke Icard brain for produce? That would be crazy. Because Colt Caparoon
Hopefully they
released a
make one of
video.
mine someday. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, Colt Caparoon released a recent video on his channel. He asked AI, um, "What can I do to make sure I'm not being replaced?" And the main thing it said was, um, being known as a creative force and not necessarily, "Oh, I can only mix and master." Because if people come to
Branding.
you for your yeah, if
That's what
people
I would
come to
say.
you for your taste and your knowledge, then that's not necessarily just mixing and mastering. That's why I started consultations, because I've had so many people call me. I'm like, I could be making money from this phone call, but now they schedule consultations with me and know that's I'm not just going to give that knowledge up for free.
Right. No, it's a huge thing too. Like when I do a vocal session for a private client in the studio here or whatever, they
Hmm.
don't get that kind of, it's not training, but advice as we're making that track or whatever. Okay, do the
Yeah,
vocal this way because he's saying H when he should be, you know what I mean? Like
like
these
in
little
the
things that I'm hearing that I'm like relaying behind me to the guy as they're doing the recording.
yeah, and
You can't pay AI to do that.
I think the aspect of human interaction when it comes to music will not go away or be replaced. I think the people that aren't willing to change, you know that saying, adapt or die. Like
Yeah, essentially
it's
move
time
with the
to
times, right?
adapt. Yeah, it's time to adapt, because there was a point where I wasn't making EDM, but I saw this boom in 2010, 2011. I was like, I need to figure out how to make this. And now 15 years later, it's on the radio, it's on national news, like it's in sports interviews and
It's being
um
used in Hollywood films without your knowledge for the last 20 years.
well um but I just think it's all about adapting to change. And if you have things against that, like what can you do to adapt to the new music industry? Well, I have five streams of income. I tutor, I do music production, I sell beats, I mix and master, I engineer, I record, um, I help people with homework that are in audio school. So I think it's just all about uh, planning out what you can do. Because if you're not organized and you're just like, oh, what do I do to make money? Like we're getting into money now, which is fine. But if you don't sit down and organize or make a vision board, like I have a whiteboard in the other room that has my goals on it, but I was using it as like a path to organizing my income streams. Um, and I do have a Excel sheet with everything I've made this year when I started consultations. Um, but I just think if you're not willing to adapt to change, that's where you get left behind. And that's going to come off as conceited as crap. But
So I think to answer like Big Kahuna's question in the chat, it's more like you're gonna have to be careful, when you put AI music onto these DSPs now because
yeah,
they are taking it off, right? And then
Yeah.
secondly, like places like YouTube and SoundCloud still accept that stuff just off the cuff kind of thing, right? So you can put them
Uh,
there if you need a place, right?
I think you can post it on SoundCloud and not have a problem with it.
Right.
If it's just for therapeutic, like you need something to listen to, like because it makes me excited listening to a song I'm writing or just finished, and like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. Like everybody's gonna love this, and then when it comes out, it gets well received, and it's just confirmation that because I can see somebody with in a situation where they need AI to make music. Um, it's just going to either change somebody's life or it's going to be therapeutic in a way to they can just listen to a song they wrote because you can type lyrics in a Suno and it'll use your lyrics. And I just think a lot of people that just type in a prompt, hit generate, that's the people that I have an issue with. um, the people that don't know how to write, it'll
But it
sound like
has to do with
AI.
motive behind why you're doing that writing into that prompt, right?
Exactly. Like if it just I don't want to go too into depth about AI again, but
You know what? We'll
I
move on. It's okay. Let's do it.
I just feel like it really depends on your situation, and if you're a producer using AI, that's one thing. If you're trying to make a song because you're just trying to write, like that's something totally different. So
Right. And then it becomes helpful at that point.
yeah, and then you can use that as a demo for like a real artist.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so like looking back, what advice would you give your younger self if you were just starting out again?
Um, I would say don't take any criticism from somebody who's not where you want to be.
Mm, interesting, because you probably have, right?
Yeah, and that's not ended well. um, because I was in this sync licensing club during COVID, and um that's where I really grew as an engineer because I had these producers and engineers that are like Grammy award winning nominated producers and engineers, and they would tell me like, hey, this is not right, like you need to gain stage this, or and I just kind of latched on to that feedback because I've never really gotten feedback from a Grammy award winning producer before, so that was new to me. And I kind of grew in a sense to where um I don't listen to just anybody. I take feedback with a grain of salt, especially since I'm more confident in my skills now. um it's just a lot better for me in the long run to listen to somebody that maybe has a Grammy or is nominated.
Qualified
Um,
advice, right?
and yeah, and they don't have to have a Grammy, but they could be making money from music, and that's one thing. That's like 50% of the progress complete. You just gotta work towards the Grammy. Um, but I really think listening to anybody and taking advice, that's how you end up with version 100, final, this better
Mix
be final, I
18.
swear to God. Like this better be final mix 100,000 million. Like that's how you end up with a million different versions of the same song. Because if you go in with a plan and you go in with, I'm gonna make this style of beat, I'm gonna do this style of lyrics, like if you go in with an idea or a song title, it'll just be that much more well thought out. Because that's why I look for song titles in conversation and text messages, and
It's always relevant,
it,
you
it's
know?
it's always it's always relevant to either what somebody's going through. Like, because I had a friend trauma dump on me the other day, and I was like, so I wrote a song. It was like, I'm stuck in this lease, like my ex is trying to come back and live with me again because he doesn't have anywhere to stay. Like
Hmm.
I was doing it from a girl's perspective. Um, but it was like the main tagline was like tied to this lease or something. And it was like a sappy, sad country song. Um, but yeah, that's why I also use Suno is because I am planning on learning guitar. That's something I want to do. That's like the last thing on my list of stuff I don't know how to do is to learn guitar so I don't have to use Suno. But once I get good enough at guitar, I can do all these ideas myself, and I
I'll
won't
teach
even
you,
need.
bro. That's it.
Yeah, yeah, and I wouldn't even need Suno if I learn how to play guitar because I can just throw it up into Pro Tools or Ableton or whatever, and
Yeah,
I
wouldn't it
wouldn't
be
even.
crazy if a lot of people that are using Suno that can't produce right now could like slowly learn how to do it themselves and just like break free of it and become that? You know what I mean?
That's that's why I
Almost as a
wanted
training
to.
tool.
That's why I wanted to use my consultations for because I've had several friends that use Suno. They're like, "Can you teach me how to make this beat?" I'm like, "Yeah, but it's not going to be cheap."
Yeah, that's
um,
crazy. Okay, so I think we're gonna hear that third song, bro. It's been a longer episode today, but you know what? We had a
yeah,
cancellation. We got our first guest on here for the second time, so I don't give a damn.
we'll
You
have a
know?
lot of shorts to post.
Yeah, heck yeah. But I want to promote your new album that's coming out. You
For
said
sure.
on it's on Halloween. It's coming out.
Yeah, so Anthems of Lost Souls is going to be released on 10/31/2025 on Halloween. Um, I just wanted to make tracks for like a dramatic. It's not really Halloween themed music, but it's like tracks that could be used in that type of movie. Um,
Okay.
and which song are we doing? Heartbreak Mechanics.
Yeah, we're gonna do Heartbreak Mechanics #3 off
So,
the album. So tell everybody about that, and then we'll go to it real quick, and then we'll come back and answer the very last question, and off we go.
okay, okay. So, Heartbreak Mechanics. That title came from a text message conversation because somebody said, "Oh, are you a heartbreak mechanic?" I was like, "That's another song."
Dude, I love how they
uh,
always come from a freaking text.
yeah, it it's a curse, man. It must be my autism that sees that. But I just feel like it's heartbreak mechanics. I wanted to make something that sounds like a factory or could be played in like a really dark scene in like a club in a movie where the killer's about to go do his thing and there's all these machines and it kind of encapsulates the scene, but I don't want to talk too much about it because we've already been talking for about 2 hours now, so um
All right, well,
so
let's just
yeah,
roll it. We'll go to it.
let's roll it.
Welcome back to the Put Up, everybody. I'm A.K.A. the Wizard, and we've been having an amazing extended length interview with 3 tracks with Luke Icard over here. He came back today to fill in for a cancellation. So
What's up?
we might just do that every time there's a cancellation. We'll have Luke
Yeah,
back.
I'll be getting a lot of free advertisement.
But before we go, because we're gonna let the people go today. It's been a little long. They've heard some amazing stuff though, and the one coming out on the new album that's called Anthem of the Lost Souls. So
yeah, that track you heard was Heartbreak Mechanics. That's number 3.
Right.
It's like an industrial trance kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm going back to listen to it again after, bro, for sure.
Yeah.
But let's talk bigger vision, okay? Where do you want to take your art in the next few years? Like, what kind of impact do you want to leave behind with it after? Like, what's the plan in the future?
I kind of want to be like Justin Bieber and sell his whole discography for like, how much did he sell it for? Like
I think
$100
$50
million?
million or something like that. Like huge
Yeah,
numbers.
like that's why I'm working so hard, is because your discography can be worth something if it has momentum behind it. And that's what I've been trying to explain to my parents and friends. I'm like, if I build up this discography, we're not gonna have to worry about money for the rest of our lives.
It's about the power of copyright, right? And the fact that this
Yeah.
thing can outlive you, but it's even in the copyright like legislation. That
Yeah,
like
like a
especially in the
hundred
USA,
years.
70 years, and then like your estate could remaster that before that 70 years and take it out 70 years after their death. Right?
Yeah,
And it can
like
stay in the family forever and make money. Right?
hmm like I think once I set up my estate and my LLC and stuff, I'm gonna have a clause in there that says, if any money is made from my discography, that goes back into advertisement for like royalties for other artists and things like that. Because I don't want to just sell my discography and then have to be like scrambling to make more music. I don't know if I'll ever sell my discography in my lifetime, but I would think it would be a great investment if somebody were to keep paying the DistroKid bill, and that money would just keep compounding over time. So,
That'd be amazing, right?
yeah, just have like $1 million
Sweet.
in your DistroKid account.
Yeah, man. Heck yeah. All right, well, bro, it's been a great interview again. Thanks for coming on a second time.
Yeah, it was awesome. I'm glad it worked out, because I was trying to get another
Yeah, thank
spot
God it
before.
worked out, Because I've never had a cancellation within like a couple hours before the show before. We've had it like 48 hours and we could fill it, right? That type of thing. But yeah,
Oh, well, I
thanks
just
so much.
happened to be free today, so I'm glad I
Perfect.
was able to.
Clutch, bro. But
Yeah.
before we go, new album coming out October 31st called Anthem of Lost Souls, right?
Yes, sir.
So everybody watch for that. There's links below here to all the stuff of Luke. And yeah, I think your website's even on there, right? Like all that stuff. If you want to
Yeah,
consult
so
with him, like over
yeah,
production or learning
if you
things,
want to book a consulting, just go to my website and fill
and
out
it's
the
done like a video
Calendly.
chat like this, right?
Yeah, it's on Zoom, so you can be
Yeah.
in like Africa or somewhere. Oh,
Yeah, we got people
but
everywhere, bro. It's sick.
yeah, let's go. That's awesome.
But yeah, man, it's been great. Next week we're planning to have Westgate Cam come on here, so we'll see how that goes.
Unless he cancels and I fill in
And then
again.
if not, Luke's coming back to stay for him, bro. But thank you everybody for coming to the stream today. It's been an amazing time, bro.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, man. And if you need anything, just give me a shout.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, have a great day, everybody, and we're gonna sign off and let the end credits roll. Peace out.
Bye, you guys.